Hello everybody, how are we all doing? I hope we're having a good weekend so far. So today is Sunday the 15th of September 2013, and if you haven't already known the news, The Flash, who is going to appear in season 2 of Arrow and hopefully get his own series from next year, is going to, obviously, as you know, has been cast, before I actually say who it is that's actually been cast, speculation beforehand was obviously mounting as to who was going to play the character, because Warner's, or whether or not, it's still not yet confirmed that after what happened with Man of Steel and how successful it has become, obviously Warner's now want to expand on the DC universe. They now want to include, obviously Batman's going to be included in the sequel for Man of Steel. Arrow, obviously when it first started, the producers Guggenheim, Vigilante and Kreisberg all said that they would have no characters featured that had superpowers. Obviously that has now changed, as I say, and I think it's to do with the success of Man of Steel, also looking at what Marvel have done with Avengers. Now they've got Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which starts in about a week or two, so you know, Warner's have probably looked at that and thought, can we follow the same formula? Can we bring something of the same sort of, you know, plan of what Marvel are doing onto our table? And so with that in mind, obviously at Comic-Con it was announced that season 2 of Arrow was going to feature a certain speedster. Now when all that came about, everyone was like, oh well, so the whole no superpowers thing has just been thrown out the window. Let's just remember something: in TV, in any medium, at the end of the day, if the creators have said we're not going to have this to begin with, somewhere down the line that rule is going to get thrown out the window for whatever reason possible. Okay, I remember Smallville, when that first started, Guff and Miller both said no tights, no flights. Then they left the show after season 7. Then Brian Peterson and Kelly Souders took over as the showrunners, and well, you've seen how it ended. Okay, so with that in mind, looking at what Arrow is doing, I know it's only been the first season, and now already we're into the second season, which starts next month, and we're going to have Barry Allen appear. Okay, now he's still going to be a forensic scientist. He's going to be an up-and-coming forensic scientist. You know, he's not going to be, I don't think he's going to be fully fledged. I think he's going to be, you know, a rookie of some sense, in some degree. Whether or not he's investigating the death of his mother, as we know in the comics, that's what he's been doing, the cold case regarding his mother's murder, the fact that his dad was arrested for it, but his dad was innocent. He knows his dad was innocent. He's trying to prove his dad's innocence. What's his reason for coming to Starling City? All that sort of stuff. So with that in mind, obviously, as I say, there was speculation as to who was going to play Barry Allen. And I think one actor's name in particular, who I've never heard of, by the name of Matt Barr, well known to people who've watched the shows that he's been in. So he was in the running. He was pretty much at the forefront, everyone's favourite as such. You know, he was the how should we put it? Well, he was the Josh Brolin of Flash as such, and then so then on Friday, late Friday night, I'll add, here in the UK anyway, it then came announced that it was none other than a chap by the name of Grant Gustin, who was featured on Glee a number of times. I'm not a fan of Glee. I really don't care for the show, to be totally honest with you. So when I heard this chap by the name of Grant Gustin had been cast, I looked him up and I was like, okay. First of all, he's a brunette. We're not going to worry about that because, hey, you can dye your hair, so that's not a problem. But he's so young looking. He's about, what, 22, 23 years old, so he's very young looking. But I think that's good because it fits with the of where the show Arrow is going to go, and then the eventual spin-off for the Flash as well. As I say, we still don't know the story of when, you know, how Barry is why he's coming to Starling City, this, that and the other. you know, is he already a forensic scientist? I believe that he will be, but again, I do believe that he's going to be more of a rookie than he is, you know, a fully fledged police forensic scientist for Keystone City, or Central City, one of the twin gems of those two cities, basically. So yeah, so Grant gets cast, and everybody's like, "Oh, who's Grant Gustin? Never heard of him before." You know, as I say, unless you're right in depth with the TV world and you watch a lot of TV shows, and you particularly watch Glee as well, in particular, you'll know who Grant is. So already, you know what people are like. A name gets mentioned, they say, "Oh my God, never heard of him. No idea if he's going to do right." Let's wait until he's actually, you know, cast, you know, in the show. Let's see how he behaves. Let's see him with the blonde hair. I'm sure they'll probably buff him up as time goes on, because he is quite scrawny in some sense. But again, as I say, the age thing, you look at Stephen Amell, who's obviously been, you know, Oliver Queen for some time now, and then you look at Grant Gustin and you think, you know what, in the comics, Barry Allen is younger than Oliver Queen by a huge margin. Okay, I'd say there's about 10-year difference between Barry and Oliver, maybe even more. The fact that Oliver Queen is, you know, a billionaire for his company, this, that, and the other. You know, he's been a Green Arrow for a long time before Barry becomes a Flash kind of thing, all that sort of stuff. So, so this will work in that. With Barry being so young, he's got to learn this, that, he's got to learn the ropes, he's got to know about this, know about that. How soon will he figure out that Oliver Queen is the vigilante, the Hood, Arrow, Green Arrow, whatever we're going to call him? Will he find out straight away, or will it be sometime later on? Will it be episode 20? Because the 3 episodes that Barry Allen's going to be in are episodes 8 and 9. Okay, so 8 will be his introduction, 9 he'll be involved in something again, but then we won't see him again till at least later on, until episode 20, which is going to be the back pilot as such for his introduction into his own show. Okay, so by May next year, whether or not we'll see him in costume is another matter. If we don't see him in costume, something happens to him. If he's, you know, in the lab, lightning strikes, and then boom, his show gets started, you know, this time next year. But what does this actually mean for the wider DC universe? Because I look at Grant Gustin and I think to myself, will he work on the big screen? Because as I said earlier in the video, does this still open the doorway for characters like the Flash and Green Arrow to feature in a Justice League movie by 2017? Okay, because don't forget, it is still rumoured that there's going to be a Flash movie for 2016. Okay, this could work perfectly with the Flash spin-off show starting next year in 2014. That gives them up until 2015. Then let's say the movie comes out summer of 2016, say July or something of 2016. By May of 2016, that's season 2 of The Flash over and done with. Get the movie, and then go back to the TV show in you know, September, October of 2016, and then 2017, the Justice League. Now I look at Stephen Amell, and I say straight away, that guy can work Green Arrow on the big screen, no problems whatsoever. Okay, he's got that unique star quality about him that can be translated from the small screen to the big screen. Grant, on the other hand, I will remain judgment until I've actually seen him as Barry Allen. At the moment, I'm undecided, but does this mean that if it works out, will he feature as the Flash in a big screen adaptation? Or will Warner's decide to say, you're okay on the TV screen, but we're going to have to get someone else with a big screen, but then when a TV show comes back, you'll be the main lead for that one? It would be a huge kick in the teeth for him if that happens, because he, in a way, you'd think he's worked solidly as the character for almost 2 years to that point. How, let's say, you know, filming wise, for example, you know, for a TV show, they film about 2 months in advance, 2 or 3 months in advance before the actual episode is due to be, you know, to start. So let's say hypothetically, let's say Grant does become the Flash in the movie version. The show finishes May of 2016, but don't forget you also have the breaks in between, so they could film certain segments in between the breaks, or they could wait until the show is completely finished. Yeah, it's you can see where the problem lies now. If you want to get the Flash on film by 2016, but if you're going to use the same actor, you're going to have confliction in terms of schedules and filming and such. So you've got to work it properly. And the same for Arrow, if Stephen Amell's going to feature as well. So it's going to be interesting to see how that works out for them. That's all I'm saying. So maybe they'll have a certain time during the breaks where they'll try and cram as much filming as possible. Yeah, it's difficult. You might just say, we'll do one season of Flash between 2014 and 2015, film the movie throughout 2015 to for the rest of 2015. So let's say from April 2015 to about December of 2015. Then, do all the after effects, the special effects, all that sort of stuff afterwards, and then the film gets released summer of 2016. If they really wanted to cut it close, they could do what Marvel has done with Thor and release it later on in the year of 2016, so which means they've got time to organise a bit of filming, say for Christmas of 2015, something like that. So there's so much going on. There's a lot to take in. So we'll see. I don't know what's going to happen. Will Grant be the one who plays the Flash on the big screen? Will they get someone else to play the Flash instead? We'll see. But if you look at Arrow, there is also whispers that Arrow is going to be in the same universe as Man of Steel. That maybe somewhere down the line of season 2, we're going to hear them mention Metropolis and what happened. Again, it's all a whisper, rumour, speculation, all that sort of stuff, but it would be nice to hear something being mentioned of what happened in Metropolis thrown into Arrow. Then you would know that Warner's mean business, that yes, they are including all of these characters into the same universe as Man of Steel, because Man of Steel has opened that doorway now, and let's see if they can follow on from that. It'll be a good competition for Marvel. We know Marvel are light years ahead of DC and Warner's right now with their production and their movies. I mean, Phase 2 is pretty much already underway. Thor Dark World comes out in the UK next month, out in November in the States, and then next year we've got Captain America Winter Soldier, and then the year after that is obviously Guardians of the Galaxy is also out next year as well. Then the year after that, obviously Avengers 2, Age of Ultron, and then July, now that they've decided to actually move Ant-Man from November 2015 to July 2015 to compete with the Man of Steel sequel featuring Batman, that's asking for a lot, I can tell you that. That is taking serious guts. But it's good at the same time, because it means us geeks don't have to wait a long time for another comic book adaptation movie to come out, because once Man of Steel sequel is out and we've seen Superman and Batman on screen together, then everybody's getting ready for Ant-Man's introduction to the Marvel Universe as well. So a lot is at stake. I don't know much about the Guardians of the Galaxy. All I can say is that I think that is Marvel's biggest risk taker to date. If it works, they're onto something. If it doesn't, well, they've screwed themselves in some sense, but they've still got Iron Man, they've still got Thor, they've still got Hulk, they've still got the Avengers. So it's all there. Everything else is there. They're just seeing how the Guardians of the Galaxy is going to fit into this universe. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. But congratulations to Grant Gustin for his casting as Flash, Barry Allen. We'll see how it goes in episode 8. He'll be filming. I think filming is to start for his episode end of this month, and I think he'll be introduced into the show sometime November, probably December. So I think it will be November before the Christmas holidays and Thanksgiving break and stuff. So episode 8 will be end of this year, and then we'll see episode 9 hopefully beginning of next year, and then we'll see how it goes from there. But yeah, well done Grant. Yeah, Welcome to DC. See you all later. Thank you for watching. Bye.